So the official PlayStation 5 conference thing just dropped. This was the last big one. Xbox has shown all their cards. Now PlayStation has, and with this event, we know the price and the release date. It's going to be releasing November 12th for US, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea, and then November 19th for everywhere else, including Europe. I got a lot of friends in Europe. Sorry, guys. Damn. Why the short straw? And the price, drumroll please, it's pretty competitive with the Xbox stuff. It's going to be $399 for the discless version and $499 or $500 for the standard regular one with the disc drive. Now, I'm going to make a whole video where I now that we have everything, I'm going to talk about the PlayStation, the Xbox, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, just kind of hyper-analyzing everything, being an insufferable nerd. But for right now, with these types of videos, I just want to talk about some of the things we've seen and some of the things that really excite me, because at the end of the day, it's video games, and there's some games here to talk about, so let's go. First thing, Final Fantasy 16. What? I mean, not to be like a drama queen, but I know that there were rumors, and yet still, I just didn't really expect it, and then they just started it right out of the gate. Here you go, Final Fantasy 16 Awakening, maybe, which is interesting. As you guys know, I love Final Fantasy very, very much, and I'm very happy for a couple of things here. Just to hear some echoes of some themes, to see chocobos, stuff like that, of course, but to see that we're going back to a fantasy type setting. It's been a minute since we've had one, a mainline one. Like Final Fantasy Online, I thought that's what this was gonna be at first, because I'm stupid and I haven't played that yet. But this is very much its own thing, and it's incredibly interesting. We see summons, we see characters, we see gameplay. We've got it wasn't just kind of like this weird long-winded cinematic tease. Like Final Fantasy for the past couple of years as a brand has had this kind of pretension behind it, this big deal, this grandiose element to it, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like. Here we kind of just like, they just were like, here you go, fuckers, here's the game. Which, cool, whatever, let's do it. The one interesting thing that caught me from this trailer, other than just a pretty cool looking main character and some cool combat stuff, the thing that struck me was blood. Just like a bunch of gore featured. Blood splashed on a character's face, a couple of stabs and stuff like that, which you don't see very often highlighted in a Final Fantasy game, so cool. I'm curious to see, like, you know, if they're going for more of like a darker R-rated thing. Again, sometimes I don't like doing this. It's very early, like, to talk out of my ass and speculate like this. I don't know. It's just interesting things that came to mind that I wanted to point out. Of course, you guys know I really like SpiderMan, so Miles Morales was right up my alley. From the music in the gameplay, like the combat music, to the combat itself being similar to Spider-Man PS4, but having some cool charged attacks and the cloaking and just kind of embracing Miles' unique powers. That's where I thought the potential would be to kind of really shake up the combat department, and they're definitely doing that here. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more open environment stuff and some web swinging and seeing how they're changing that up, if they are at all. It's also going to be on PlayStation 4. Now we know officially. So this is a PS4, PS5 game, which is kind of weird for Sony, considering they were saying that they're like, no, we're going all in on the next generation. This and the new Horizon game have been confirmed to also be on PS4. So there's that. Just to focus on Harlem, though, Miles' mom is a politician. The Tinkerer is going to be the villain. I love the winter New York setting. I'm a sucker for that stuff. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do here. They can kind of go off and tell a new tale. I'm curious to see how they explain what Peter Parker is doing. I'm all in, just because I'm a sucker for Spider-Man. Hogwarts Legacy is also a thing, regardless of what you think of the author. This is the game that was leaked a ways back. This is Portkey Games and Avalanche, I believe, and it is a WB game, and it seems very much like what it has been set up to be, a RPG Hogwarts game. I like that it takes place in the 1800s. I also, they showed like a brief enemy character who looked really cool. You see new looks at Hogwarts. I think setting it in that time period could be really interesting. It gives them a lot of room to do stuff. Like there's big creatures. Then we see like stuff like Dementors. And honestly, what I'm looking at with this game, what I wanted to do is, like, I saw the potential as Fantastic Beasts, but it didn't quite get there for me in terms of filling out the blank and expanding the lore of this Harry Potter stuff. I think this could do it. Also, Resident Evil 8, we got a trailer that in a lot of ways was pretty similar to the other trailer, showed a lot of stuff or expanding slightly on stuff that we've already seen. I expected a little bit more. That being said, this is still hands down like my most anticipated game. I love Resident Evil. I'm really curious to see what they do here. And the cryptic tease at the end was very interesting. The rumors were correct where they said that the next trailer was going to reveal some new legacy Resident Evil character. It seems like they're going with that from Resident Evil 4. Maybe he's the shopkeep guy, but they're doing something a little creative, a little different with him. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but either way, I'm all about this game. Also, I gotta say, man, with Deathloop, the game, when it was first announced, I wasn't like super into it, but now every time we get a new look at it, I'm more and more interested. And with the glimpse that we got here in terms of how the gameplay worked, the cool, way more interesting than I expected gadgets and weapons, that stuff. Now I'm really in, and I'm really excited for Deathloop, and I wish it didn't get pushed into 2021. Also, Demon's Souls, as much as I have like a love-hate relationship with the Souls series, oh my god, it looks so good. It looks insane graphically. It's very much like, you could tell at this point, like Blue Point, like they have a style of how they remake things and how things look. There's, of course, them respecting the original, but kind of their little artistic tweaks to it. This still looks very much like that, like how with Shadow of the Colossus was. But holy shit, this game just looks kind of like undeniable. Like you can't, even if you don't like these games or if you've never played a Souls-like game, you can't help but look at that gameplay and be like, oh man, what is that? I want to play that. Then you're going to play it and realize that it's full of shit and it kicks your ass. That's funny because Demon's Souls is confirmed to be a launch PS5 game, so there's only going to be a few, and people are going to run out and get a new PS5 and they're going to get Demon's Souls and they're just going to get bodied. Also, the PlayStation Plus collection thing that they're doing, so if you have PlayStation Plus and you get a PlayStation 5, you're going to get access to download and play a bunch of legacy PS4 games, greatest hits PS4 games like Days Gone, Bloodborne, stuff like that. Play them right on your PlayStation 5. At the very least, this is a thing. From what I can see, it seems like it's just an added perk if you already have PlayStation Plus, so bravo on them for that, I guess. And then, of course, last but not least, they ended on, bam, teasing the next God of War. You get a little voiceover from Kratos, you get the logo, and you get the word Ragnarok. So we're all going to call this God of War Ragnarok from here on. And that's it. That's all we know. We can't really speculate too much. Seems like it's going to be a sequel. I do believe, and I have heard something that something surrounding this game is going to be revealed that is definitely interesting. That's all I know. It's not really much, just saying. I think it's incredibly exciting for this series to continue in this new way. Honestly, the fact that it's coming 2021 seems like it is that kind of a quick turnaround. I don't know. Regardless, I'm very excited to see where it goes, whether they continue the father-son thing or not. And is Kratos just going to kill all the Norse mythology gods and characters and stuff? Because if so, I'm all aboard, dude. But those are some of the things I'm like into the most. Those are some quick thoughts on it. I wanted to put this out there just because of the sheer excitement of the event. Regardless how you feel about the next generation consoles, all the nonsense around it, it's nice to see some video games, huh? And some gameplay and stuff like that. That's why I jumped on here. So I do want to hear from you guys what you're thinking about these games that have been revealed, announced, or games that we've known about previously. Now we got more gameplay for them. What are you thinking? Save your real console war-y type speculation stuff, those comments, for another video I'm going to put out soon. Keep your eyes peeled for that. But for now, just talking games. What caught your eye tonight with this event? I want to hear from you guys. I'll be down there. I also want to say, if you like what I'm doing here, where I just talk about the things I like, I'm not shitting on anything. If you enjoy that, consider clicking the like button because it does help me. Also subscribing and hitting the notification bell because I only put out videos like once a week or so. Come along for the ride. But thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe because video games, pizza's on me.